Alrighty, happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys are all gonna have a great day. Today's stream is not gonna be 3 hours long. It is gonna be 2 hours because I have to go out a little bit earlier to go hang with some friends. But what I'm going to do is put another extra video tonight, or just do a little bit of extra streaming here tomorrow. So, because tomorrow is Thursday, it's the last day of the week, right? So, happy to see all of you guys in here. For now, let me actually go to full place head. I got a lot of stuff going on my desk because there's been a lot of news today. Good, bad, and a whole bunch of meh. It just depends on what part of the world you're looking at right here. But before all of that here is Loki looking for his treat. We just got back from the pet store, so he gets these handmade treats that are really nice, and he absolutely loves them more than the regular stuff, right? And then yeah, just takes off, looks okay. And hey, Crypto Ricky, happy to see you. So guys, today there was a lot that kind of happened here as far as news, and it's not like it was the biggest breaking news. Maybe I would say one thing today was massive. Everything else was just kind of status quo type of stuff, which was good. Yeah, I would even say CPI was good, but it wasn't the big breaking news of the day. That kind of happened a little bit later, and we'll be talking about that in a few. So what we're going to be going over today is a few things, some of the same stuff from yesterday, of course. We're going to be going over CPI news, Bitcoin technical analysis, altcoin technical analysis for some of those coins that are moving down right now. Of course, everything is down right now. We got some crypto news, which is okay. Not really much happened there. Then we have some world events, and those world events, damn, it's a bombshell here. So it seems like all of a sudden there's going to be turbulence in the world again, and that turbulence is kind of annoying to everybody, let's just say that, right? And then to finish it off, we're just going to be doing some day trading here with some live Q&A. I do have the day trading set up already, but I'm waiting for, nope, it turned green when I was making my tea a few seconds ago, damn it. Well, anyway, we'll have a signal here pretty soon that we can trade, and maybe we'll have some luck going long or going short on that, okay? So, well, that's good to go. I'm still on my third, fourth day of my fast, so my brain is still working okay. It's a little bit slower than I think today because I forgot to take a lot of the pills, but I took them about a half an hour ago, so maybe my brain speeds up as we're going through this. And I got some mint tea with cinnamon and salt in it, so because that's what I'm lacking right now, so that'll be good. God damn. Yeah, that was it's the salt. It's the salt, but I need the salt because I don't have any. I'm not eating anything. Ooh, damn. I should have watered that down even more. Maybe the ice will water down. But anyway, let's get after it, guys. Ooh wee. So, inflation rises 0.1% in May from prior month, less than expected. Guys, this is just great news for us overall. I know the market is down today, and I know there was other news that kind of caused that. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. But at this point in time, we still are moving in the right direction, and that right direction is basically allowing the Fed to start cutting sooner than expected. Now, Jerome Powell, I'm starting to think that maybe his thing is he doesn't really want to he doesn't care about the data as much. He kind of just wants to annoy Trump or make Trump look bad, because this is my personal opinion, right? I do believe we should be cutting rates sooner than expected, like sooner than September or October, dates like that. I think we should be cutting rates, if not this month, then next month. I really do think so. The economy is very, very slow right now. Inflation is at a respectable level of 2.4%. I can live with that. I think a lot of people can live with that as long as there's better jobs and they're able to make more money, right? I'm okay with that right now. But as far as the market's concerned, this does make me happy to be holding for this summer. I think sometime this summer, Jerome Powell is going to be forced to cut, and then that will be the big boost that the markets need, and I think I'm going to be very happy about that. He probably won't go with a full 50 basis point rate cut. He probably won't do a 100% rate cut or 100 basis point rate cut like Trump wants, but 25 basis point cut, I'm hoping that he'll get bullied in there a little bit later. I do have an article we can read on that a little bit later, but I just wanted to explain kind of what was going on here. So basically, the consumer price index increased 0.1%. That's fantastic. Now, if you take out food and energy, core CPI came in respectively at 0.1% and 2.8%, compared to the forecast being 0.3 and 2.9. So we were expecting 0.3, we got 0.1. That's fantastic. We were expecting 2.9 and we got 2.8. Again, better than expected. And when I see these expectations like this, I'm like, the media for the past 2 months has really just been telling us, hey, we're going to have a massive spike in inflation, and it's going to be all Trump's fault because of everything going on as far as the tariffs. And we really haven't seen that yet, at least in the data, right? At least in the data. Maybe a mom and pop shop had to raise their prices up a little bit, or maybe so-and-so had to raise up, whatever. But we haven't seen it across the board yet, so most Americans aren't feeling that massive increase, which I think is good, because if they feel that massive increase, of course, they tend to spend less and they have less money to spend because everything's more expensive. So I do like that this is happening. Prices only went up 0.1%. I can live with that. Now, as far as where those prices were broken down, this is my favorite part about CPI day, because we actually get to see what exactly is happening here, and where prices are going up and where they're going down. Rarely are they going down, as you guys might imagine, but here's the inflation breakdown for May 2025 in one chart. You got eggs up 41%. Obviously, last year eggs were very cheap compared to where they are now. I just bought a pack of 5 dozen, like I told you guys before, and oh man, they were more than I expected. Not crazy, but more. Actually, I don't buy eggs too much, so I'm not really sure how much they're supposed to cost. But for 5 dozen eggs, I felt like it was more than I should be paying for eggs. Next up, we have roasted coffee up 11.8%. Uncooked ground beef is up 9%. Undercooked beef roast, coffee, things like that, all going up a little bit more. Energy is doing pretty well right now. Energy is down 3.5%, it looks like here, where food away from home is up 3% and food at home is up 2.2%. So I think we're in a good spot. I wish I could have this same chart, but it'd be month over month. I know it'd be very tiny prices, but I'd love to see the type of moves that are happening right there. But you guys can see overall things are working out to our benefit. I do like that a lot. I just think this gives us a little bit more opportunity to get Jerome Powell to have a cut. How do I say this? The Fed can't say no forever. Remember, their price target is 2%. We're getting closer and closer there. They're going to have to admit it sooner or later, because again, we don't necessarily want to hit 2% if our economy is in tatters. We want to get very close to 2% and our economy be buzzing along. Our economy is not buzzing along right now. We're in kind of a strained relationship with it, right? And hey Lisa, happy to see you. Crypto Ricky, happy to see both of you guys here. Hey JJ Giddy. I don't know if I would say the Fed is getting bullied into a rate cut. They've literally been consistently saying they're looking for 1 or 2 cuts this year. Yeah, but they might not have any because they keep on pushing it out. And it almost feels like Jerome Powell, how would I describe it? I think this goes back to him and his transitory campaign that he ran a few years ago, which I think really fucked with Biden, right? Because Biden had no idea what was going on. His staff didn't really understand the economics of it all. They were like, the Fed is like, oh, it's transitory, it's gonna be short term, right? I think he looks at the data and he sees that it's not good, right? But he doesn't want to just jump in and use his power to stop it from happening. And so I think what that results in is typically him being late to the party, not realizing that inflation was very, very bad, right? And then what happened back in November was he felt like, oh yeah, now we can jump in. He tried to like overcorrect for it, right? Like, oh yeah, we can jump in right now, we're gonna be fine. And then he thought that he cut too much, right? And then all of a sudden we saw the market spike, everything was going really well for us. And then he had to cut back on it even more when inflation went up a little bit. I don't know if you guys, this is what the 1 year, 3 year, oh yeah, why not? Okay, now let's do 2 ways. So right now we're at 2.4, that's so good. That's the same we were at March, we're back here September, things are good. Okay, now this being at 2.4% last September was one of the main reasons he decided to cut rates, right, a while ago. And then of course, after he cut rates, inflation started to go higher, higher, higher. And then of course we dropped like a rock. I think he really focuses on these like few 3 months is like, oh my God, panic, 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 right? And I don't think that was necessarily because of him increasing interest rates. I think that was just part of Donald Trump kind of getting into office and everybody recalibrating for what they would see as a disaster or a godsend of money, whichever part of the system. That recalibration was happening here. Usually during elections, I was trying to figure out what normally happens, but like the last few election cycles, as you guys might imagine, have been all over the place. 2016, right, January, we had a big spike right before Trump was elected the first time, right? Big spike right there. I can't go to max because it makes me want to pay for it, but I would expect we had some other spikes here as well. So I think because Trump is just such a divisive character, he's so wild in people's eyes, right? I think the market just has to overcorrect for that, but Jerome Powell reads that data probably in the wrong way, right? But I'm not a fan of Jerome Powell, not because he won't cut rates right now. It's more of how he handled the transitory thing, and how he wouldn't own up to it for a very long time because of his ego. And again, if there's one thing I see in the bureaucracy or DC, everybody freaking has an ego out there. It always drives me absolutely nuts. Now, as far as Bitcoin's concerned, I've had to adjust the trend line here because now we do have another level of resistance here. This is not the best level, but it is what we have. Momentum is actually green here, so I'm not like totally dissuaded from what we're seeing. I see bullish, 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 and even the change of character is still bullish right now, which I'm pretty happy about. My concern is this death cross that could be happening again towards maybe the end of June, maybe June 17th, maybe 6 days, about a week from now, maybe at the end of the month. And how much longer Bitcoin has to consolidate, because now if I'm looking for that big mega move for Bitcoin, right, that means we have to wait like another week or so before we even have an opportunity because of the dump we saw today. So I think this is going to go back to the chop, right? A lot of people are going to be trading the chop, having fun time. If over the next few days we come into contact with the 20-day moving average, you can guarantee there's going to be a lot of traders there wanting to trade those type of moves where we kind of bounce off of it or get close to it or break through it. The volatility from those is always something that we love, right? We just automatically like it quite a bit. Now, we'll focus on the day trading stuff in a little bit here, but on the weekly chart, we're still fine. 4 days left. We can still prime up and break out, but for me, it's more like, you know, I'm hoping for just a sideways move and then possibly a breakout next week. I'm just kind of, how do I describe it? I haven't really done much dollar cost averaging this week, but maybe I should. I'm still holding on to a lot of the tokens I've had over the past couple months here, and they've been working out very well. The tokens that I've had for the past, what, like 5 months now, 4 months, you know, those ones I would say are still doing well, but we bought them down here when everything was kind of crashing and burning. So no matter what you bought, for the most part, you're pretty much in the money there. I've been feeling the need to maybe scale out a little bit more out of those tokens and hold the ones that I've already been buying up here for a while, because they're up a little bit, but they're not great, right? They could easily go back to being negative. Just in case Bitcoin does want to consolidate for longer than I want to. I don't really see massive news stopping Bitcoin at this time, except for one story, which I'll talk about here in a few minutes. But as far as Bitcoin technical analysis, we're still in a good spot. Still going up with all the bullish momentum that we've been hoping for here. And then on top of that, we're just waiting for a clear breakout that actually surges back up. Probably my level is like 120,000, but I've heard a lot of people say 150,000, 106,000, whatever that level is. But for me right now, I'm probably just saying 120,000 is a nice little place where we're going to probably see a hiccup, and that hiccup is going to be enough for me to sell and maybe scale out of some of my altcoins, right? That's just the safe thing I want to do for now. And hey, Money Power Respect Crypto. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing well. Any pointers on how to control myself? I lost 3,000 yesterday and I can't forget about it, which is causing me to raise leverage and lose more and more. Yeah, spend a few days and just go do some paper trading. Honestly, helps me a lot. Because the paper money you don't care about at all. You don't care about it at all. It kind of like retunes your brain in a way. So that's the way I like it. But let me see. And then lock in a leverage that you want to use that's lower. So let's say you have like 5,000 bucks in your account, right? Why don't you just trade with $100 of it, $200 of it, and just do 5x leverage? Don't worry about making money or losing money in that sense. Just get back to the beat of it, you know? That goes a long way. And of course, this market, let me go over here very fast. This market's kind of choppy right now, right? Let me go to the 1 hour chart with Bitcoin here. You know, you could just wait for a few different settings and try to do this here and see what works out for you. If you do smart money concepts, maybe the 15-minute chart, and you just scalp it down, right? A little bit here, a little bit here, and try to follow the momentum. It's harder because I'm just looking at one chart here, but maybe even just the 4-hour chart may do you some good here. The 4-hour chart technically is going through a change of character if it closes down below this wick right there. But as far as I'm concerned, you have two real options if you want to keep trading. One, you can try to move over to swing trading, right, which is a little bit more easier, kind of eases you back in. Or you can go to like the 5-minute chart, 1-minute chart, and then perhaps what you can do is, yes, these have been all over the place, kind of choppy, right? Again, we've been in a downtrend here on like the 1-hour chart for a minute, so you're not even doing any of those trades you see. But every time there's a short, you're probably going to take an opportunity to do that, just waiting for the breakouts. So I would spend a few hours reviewing all the trades that you had messed up on, and then I would use that knowledge to see why, like looking back in hindsight, why did you open that trade and what did you miss, and then try to make some type of checklist, I guess I'll call it a checklist, to say, hey, what does the 4-hour chart look like, what does the daily chart look like, what does the 50-minute or the hour chart look like, whatever. And then is all of this saying I'm in a good spot, am I in a good spot here, I'm in a good spot there, is what's going on, right? And then if all of those are met, then you open up a trade, right? And then what you could probably do is whatever you normally trade with, if you're losing a couple thousand, you obviously have some financial backing, right? I would trade a small amount of that using that checklist, and then like we do with weeks, you can go over here and do the trading with demo futures, right? And we had this one set up from yesterday, and we talked about the bearishness and stuff like that. No, I'm going to hold this one a little bit longer, and for the day trading one, we're actually trading it, right? So this is one where it went up 53%. It's up $1,000 again, fake money, not real money in this account right here. But a 49x leverage. I don't know why I did that, but basically, whatever money you normally trade with, just do it in the fake account here. Do Bitcoin, don't do Ethereum or anything else, just do Bitcoin, and then kind of see where it goes, right? You can have it any way you want to here, and then you know what you could have made if you made the trade, or what you could have lost, and then kind of recalibrate. So you're still trading on your real money, but just do small amounts of it, like real small amounts where you don't even care, like you don't care at all, and then kind of just pay more attention to what's going on over here with the the paper account. I'm guessing, yeah, that's probably the best way for me to explain it there. But this is the trade we opened up yesterday. Basically, Bitcoin's gone down 1%, right? That's basically what this is saying. But that's why we did this as a trade. This was me showing you guys I'm better at swing trading than I am day trading, obviously. And you can see we opened up that trade. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. What time was it yesterday? Like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock? Today's the 11th, so that means it was the 10th, right? Oh, it's military time. That's why it's freaking my brain out. Where be... Oh, it's not gonna let me do it. Okay, never mind. I forget. It's different on this these platforms. So what is that? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So I opened the trade somewhere over here. Right? We saw that kind of tilting off. We talked about that breakdown that was happening right here. You know, nice little downtrend. Now, realistically, I probably would have sold closer to over here. You see this little support level? I would have sold over here and not over here. And that would have been a nice little scalp, make my money, whatever. But I left it around a little bit longer just because you could see by the time I looked at it this morning, remember I woke up at 10 o'clock? I'm just going to let it sit down and see where it goes. As far as Bitcoin's concerned now, though, we could easily have a little bit of a pop. So what I'm going to do is do a little flash close of that because it is fake money, and we'll open up another trade down the line here. But those fake money trades, I know people make fun of people that do them, but like I don't really see the point in like knocking them. It's just another way to practice trading without losing capital, and losing capital, I mean, let's be frank, it sucks. You know, it really does suck. Let me go back over here very fast. Back over here. But overall, I'm still fine with Bitcoin. I don't see any major problems with it. We're still going higher. We still have a good weekly chart here. There's no big, crazy, nasty move on the horizon type of thing I'm seeing at this moment in time. I still see some consolidation, and I'm only going to get concerned with Bitcoin if we start to break down below the 50-day moving average. That's where I'm like, oh, okay, this is where I need to be a little bit more aware of what's happening. I might have to put some money aside to buy a big dip that's coming along, something more like that, right? Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I'd like to see Bitcoin just surge, but again, we may have to consolidate a little bit before that surge going forward. Gold's up a little bit, still consolidating, and then we have dollar index still coming down over the last few days. Even the CPI here coming down today, small move. And where are we at here? Bitcoin dominance went down a little bit yesterday, but it's just kind of chilling out today. So we're still getting close. We're not there yet, but we are close. So again, just another reason to dollar cost average, in my opinion. But yeah, lower that leverage with the real money, lower that amount you're investing in the real money, and then just do whatever you normally do, but just plug that right into this fake account and have some fun with it. And do a checklist. And then if you don't have one already, do that trading journal we talked about, and just kind of keep track of what's working for you and what's not, especially if you take notes, and just look at the notes every now and again, see what happened. I know if you're day trading, you probably do 2-3 trades a day, right? And you could just write all those notes, and at the end of the night, you just kind of look over it, you know, drink some coffee, look to see what's happening, and then kind of see what things went wrong and analyze it. It's kind of like the schoolwork of trading, if you will, right? And hey, Puma, happy to see you. Happy to see you in here on a nice Wednesday afternoon. I'll be a senior citizen by the time we finally get to altcoin season. For real. For real. It's been brutal. Like, we go back over here, looking at the altcoins and stuff. Bitcoin's been absolutely fantastic, right? I love it. Ethereum, breaking out, still having a good week, right? Solana still doing okay. Dogecoin fine. Trump token, of course, not doing great. It doesn't like Melania token, so I'm skipping it. WIF token, right? Bonk, Miro. Bonk is doing okay right now. It's trying to bounce off. But you know, Miro's not doing, Miro's doing okay. A nice little bounce, but it's still kind of weak, right? Look at, you know, again, this is my average, I think, right now of Bonk. Oh no, that level of support resistance, but whatever. But yeah, my average is probably somewhere close to that. Altcoins have a long way to go. It's almost sad, right? Almost sad. We never even had a big dip on Binance coin. I don't have any Binance coin anymore, but I know it's a good investment for these types of big moves, because it always comes back. Look at this. It almost reminds me of Dogecoin, how it never fully went back down to the 2020 levels, 2021 early levels, you know? There we go. And right now we see Bitcoin cruising down a little bit more. See, and hey, her, I'm happy to see my man. Thank you. I'll give it a try. Yeah, don't be afraid to take a couple days off. It's almost like a video game in some respects, where if you are how do I describe it? Have you ever been playing a video game and you've been trying to beat this boss over and over and over again, but you just can't beat it? That's happened to me a lot of times. So I'll usually just rage quit, and I'll be like, fuck this game, I'm done with it for a while. And then I come back like maybe 2 or 3 days later, and I beat the boss in the first try. And I'm like, the fuck was that? Right? Sometimes trading is like that. All right. And actually, you've seen me over the past few days talk about how this market right now is a little bit more challenging than normal, which is why I myself have actually throttled down how much I'm investing. All right. So that's something I'd also just say, hey, this is not the easiest market to be trading. So for instance here, let's say, okay, sorry, Loki's over here wanting more treats. Here you go. Yep. Okay, there you go. Yep. As he gets dirt all over my shoulder. What's a good plan? So you're trying to day trade, so you really do want to stick to the 1 and 5 minute charts, and then probably have a 15 and an hourly chart with you, and then maybe once every few hours, check the 4-hour chart and the daily chart, but you don't really have to check them too much. So if you have a couple $1,000 and you're trading, right, I would assume you would have the premium version of TradingView. So why not make a chart layout that looks like this? Oh shit. Okay, I don't need to be here. So we still have some news to go, but I don't mind it because I'm only streaming for another hour and a half today because I have to go out for the basketball game. Let's start off with the daily chart. Let's ignore the SMAs for now and let's just go to Smart Money Concepts, Luxago. Color candles, label size normal, label size large. We can do order blocks. Let's skim it down to 3 and 3. Alright, and then let's only do MACD for now to make it very simple. Got to move this to the front order. Let's hide this. Let's open up a six charts. This doesn't need a MACD. This doesn't need a MACD. Okay. 1, 5, 15, 1 hour. You can hide these MACDs for now. And then go over here to a 4-hour chart and make this into a daily chart, okay? And let's hide those for now as well. There you go. So what you would technically do is on those longer time frames, you just put that there. You'd see there's a breakdown happening. So you see there's a shift in momentum even before the change of character shifts, right? As far as Bitcoin on the daily chart, it's not the biggest thing happening right now, but you might just have that trend line here, which maybe comes into play a little bit later on this week or next week, right? Because this could be a larger move down all the way down by like $103,000. For the one, you can add more technical analysis if you want to. You could already see we talked about this earlier on my 1-hour chart. I basically have that rolling right now, right? You can see that breakdown that's been happening. 15-minute chart. Keep it simple. 5-minute chart. Go that stuff lower. There you go. All right. And you can kind of see right now, we have some green on the daily, green on the 4-hour, red on the 1 hour, red on the 15, red on the 5, and green on the 1. There's a lot of chop right now, which is not making that very easy to be trading. And that's because we're kind of going through this sideways momentum shift with a little bit of pressure on the downside because we haven't fully slammed down yet, right? So what you might look for and see where you're more successful as a trader, and what I typically do is I'll move these over like this because these ones aren't nearly as important. That stuff. And you can kind of adjust that right there and adjust that so you can see what's going on. And maybe because there's so much chop, you kind of go back and see where historically you're going to trade a little bit better, looking at some of your notes that you might or may not have taken. What I have learned about myself is I'm way more successful when the 4-hour chart is doing these big moves. Sorry, there's a magnet making it look ugly. These big moves right here, I'm great at trading during those times, but during this chop, it's a lot more difficult. So if I were to go over here and maybe look at a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, for now let's just do 15 because that's better of a swing trader. All right, This is all the way back from Thursday, May 22nd. We've just been talking about this for the past few days. See how these moves really haven't been making that much money off of them? Meh. What? Meh? Meh? Right? That's a little bit more difficult because we've been looking at that big level of resistance right up here. And until we break out that resistance, it's just much harder, right? Then over here, we had some support, but it didn't really matter all too much. We flushed down below it a little bit here, and it's just a pain in the butt. So this is not like an ideal time to trade. Even if you go to the 1 hour chart, the last opportunity to buy was way back over here on Saturday the 7th. So that was Saturday, right? Last opportunity to trade that was Saturday. Now we've just opened here, right? That's a few hours ago. It's already going down a little bit. If it decides to pop back up a little bit, knowing there's a breakdown there, you can kind of swing that down. But even with that, I would still do a lower amount of capital and lower leverage because this is just more of a choppy time. And then we also have some news coming in, which I'll be talking about in a few minutes. But I'll save this one. We can kind of watch it. I'm working with a guy right now, or it will soon to be, and they're going to create a bot for me. And I'm going to put the bot on TradingView for you guys to use for free. Or I'm going to, what the guy wants me to do is hook it up to he wants me to hook it up to an exchange for copy trading. But I don't know if I really want to go through all of that, but we'll see. But yeah, so this last few days have not been a good opportunity for trading. But again, you swing in through here when you had that 4 hour signal right there. And let's just say from the moment we had that to the level we had resistance up here, and the big level of resistance you'd be watching in these circumstances is there and there. And now let's look at the 15-minute chart, primarily the 5-minute chart, but right. So you had no signal there. You had your first green signal here on the 15-minute chart. That was good profit. Second one over here, good profit. You could sell right here or hold longer. Me being me, I usually sell right there. We had a break of structure right here if you wanted to buy more. That went up to the next level of resistance. You'd be fine there. But after this, right, what did we talk about in that 4 hour chart? If I can find it again. Hit that level of resistance, right? This is where things become more choppier. I'm better at those moments, but you can see in those days, this is from a Saturday to a Monday, right? So over those few days, I really only had 2 opportunities to trade Bitcoin. 2. Go to the 5-minute chart. Oops, sorry, get out of that. 1 opportunity right there that didn't work. 1 that worked there, that one didn't work, that one didn't work, and that one worked. Right, and of course if you do the next one, you do have some breakup structures you can use right there, which gave you some good little scalps. That one not so much, and this one worked out. So looking at those, let me just say, so let's say this is a +2 type of trade. That trade right there is probably minus 0.5. This one right here, let's just say +2 for that one. Let's say you don't open a new trade, you're just waiting for the next green one in this circumstance, because you could still make money there, but let's just say it just got canceled out from that support being lost right there, right? So that evens out. And this one up over here, let's say this was a 1 + 1. So whatever that amount of money you're making, I know this is kind of weird math in my head, but this is how my brain works. So like $200 on this trade, lost $50 on that trade. Well, oh, I forgot this one right here, actually, sorry. And there's other ways to mitigate some of these moves down, right? But let's say bought right there. So let's say I lost 100 right here. Now, what did I say? Yeah, $200. My writing is horrible. So let's say I made $200 on this trade. I lost 50 on this trade. I lost 50 on that trade. And then I made $200 on that trade. And then let's say those canceled out. I made another $100 right here. All right. So that's 100 plus 200. That's 300 plus 100. That's like $400 profit, right? It's very bad math. Trust me. I understand how weird this may look. The point being that during that time, if you went through the choppy times during the 5-minute chart, right, you could have still made it out if you just had your basic stop loss to protect you, like open the trade here, stop loss there, right? But if you're like me, and like I say, I'm better at swing trading than doing all the scalping stuff. So that's how I would have traded, right? And it's not that bad. It's not to me not that great, but it's not that bad either. Go to the 51. You're stuck with the winner. 200 bucks. 200 bucks right there as well. Now you can go over here for break of structure and go higher if you want to. But again, you know there's that big level of resistance up there. So maybe try that. Maybe just wait for those 4 hours to just kick into gear, because the best time to trade for me is when you flip from a bearish 4-hour chart to a bullish 4-hour chart, a bearish daily chart to a bullish chart, right? If I were to redo all this here and go back to the daily, this market cycle is so annoying, and trust me, I know. You could also just do Fibonacci levels if you don't want to do this, but 15-minute chart. You have a break of structure, or you have a break of structure there. You can go off of break of structures or change your characters, it's fine. But you have opportunities there. That one worked out well as well because no stop loss hit. This one worked out pretty well too. This one did not. That one did not. That one did okay for you. No, yes, no. As you do this, you can see there's a clear level of resistance where this thing does not want to freaking go. Once you establish that in your head, or just look at the line, you can be like, oh, I'll pass on that one. I'll pass on that one until we actually start moving above it in a meaningful way. You can do that, right? Even these ones, you might not have even traded any of this stuff because it was at a big level of resistance, right? Even this one right here, you might have traded that change of character once it's broken out and you have that big change of character, the solid one right there. That made you some money there. That one did not. That one did okay. Let me see. No, that was more of a scalp. Yeah, that one probably lost you. It didn't hit the stop loss, but you might have sold for a small loss right there. So there to there, that's a minimal loss. This one right here, break of structure right there, you might have bought that and hit the stop loss. And again, see, this is different. You can see the momentum shifting. That's why the momentum on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart, you can see that this momentum was already bad enough where you don't want to be trading, right? But again, there's just a whole bunch of little moves in that you can do, but typically, once it starts to shift like that, there's usually a nice little plug right there, which can be fine. But when you get close to those resistance levels, it just becomes kind of nasty, real nasty, to be honest. But yeah, much more choppy this time. Let me go back over here. Let me get out of that for now. All right, so what's right here? And hey, Rob, what's up, Mike? Thank you for getting pumped early tonight at the AM. Well, hold on a second. Let me get through this and I'll answer your questions. Well, actually, let me just do it now because it's not too big of a thing. Oh, did I get rid of that? I actually got rid of my trading view chart, didn't I? I want my basic Bitcoin chart. There we go. So right now, Bitcoin's looking like it wants to continue going down for a little bit. Hopefully in the morning we can have a ricochet, but I was hoping for that this morning and it never really came. We really started to go down. Let me pull up the... There you go. All right. Market come out. We had a little bit of a push. We were doing fine. Towards the end of the day, we kind of just got swamped. You can almost see a head and shoulders right here, and we just, you know, kind of fell straight down for a while. I didn't exactly see the news that happened around 10:30, but that was really a push here. Was it on the NASDAQ as well? 10:30 as well. Some news broke, and I don't know what it was. I just haven't had time to check it out. Some news broke, and it really fucked with the market here. Let me see if I can figure out... No. I'll get to some of the news though in a second. As far as what I think caused it here, I just don't know exactly if it was that exact time. But here's what happened today in crypto. It was not much. The stablecoin bill passed as another key vote, which is nice. They just passed one a couple days ago, passed another one here, and then a lot of Republicans are getting behind it and Democrats don't like it. That's basically the gist of what happened today. Now, US senators are questioning Meta's stablecoin plans amid Genius Act debate. A lot more of these big companies are thinking about getting into crypto. Zuckerberg is one of those guys. Congress is just like, hey, we'd love for you to come in and explain exactly what you want to do with stable coins and cryptocurrencies, because we are kind of skeptical that you're going to do the right thing with them. Fair enough, right? As far as world news is concerned, Besant floats extending tariff pauses for countries in good faith trade talks. This means that tariffs may come back along here a little bit later on. I don't think so, because Trump has kind of backed off quite a bit. But yeah, that's okay. Funny enough, Empire strips back. Isn't this the craziest thing you ever did see? The Empire strips back, not comes back, strips back. I'm more of a coffee grind guy. Yeah. Now, last big thing of the news right here is a shadow Fed chair would be coming. Could be coming, who it could be, and how the markets might react. Markets would go down. Nobody's very excited about this, but people are really pissed off with Jerome Powell right now. And Jerome Powell keeps on saying the economy is great when it's not. And people, of course, are getting slowly ticked off more and more because, again, the way that rates have been going, the way that it's not even just about rates, it's just how he keeps on saying everything is good when it's not. He said that the tariffs are going to be really crazy. They really haven't been so far, at least. And I think the data is kind of at a weird spot where we just don't know how to measure it anymore. And maybe that's because of the way AI is kind of pushing into the different spots, the way the layoffs don't have the same impact as they once did a few years ago. Things are just a little bit different. And I don't know if some of those older institutions are able to speed up the process to understand the data like they used to be able to. Because the data doesn't mean that you can't weight the data the same that you could back during COVID or even like before COVID. Too many things are changing, and I don't think they're in the position to really try to make those changes in a meaningful way at this time when they're so close to their goal of hitting that 2% inflation rate and, you know, seeing the economy hopefully have some interest rate cuts soon enough, right? Now, this is where I thought the news was this morning that we were talking about. It comes from Iran. I don't know if Iran is going to be number one or what's happening here, if it's still the Beach Boys guy. No, it's top now, yeah. So we could be looking at some war stuff here. Excuse me. Just this nasty tea. Could you provide an update on Iran? U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region. Trump, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place. We'll see what happens. They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple, right? So there's some big news happening out in the Middle East where there could be some rumblings going on, right? U.S. ordered all embassies in striking distance of Iran across the Middle East to convey emergency action committee and send cables back to D.C. from the Washington Post. And then, let me see. Where's it at? There you go. Today at... You okay, Loki? Okay, sorry, Loki scared me for a second. Today at Secretary of Defense, that'd be Hetzef, I can't pronounce his name, confirmed that Iran's terrorist regime is actively working towards a nuclear weapon. For the sake of our national security, the security of our allies, and millions of civilians in the region, this cannot be allowed to happen. So now all of a sudden everybody's talking about war. Here's open source intel. The U.S. has directed all embassies within range of Iran. We already talked about that here. But basically, there's some chaos going on. But I don't know if America is going to be doing bombing or we're going to have our proxy Israel do the bombing, because Israel is salivating to bomb the shit out of Iran, like salivating. And I guess this news is spreading more and more and more. It was more of a rumor during the middle of the day, but I wonder if that's when things really started to become impacted, right? So the United States is now on high alert in anticipation of a potential oh, there you go, 51 minutes, Israel strike on Iran. So this could be the big news. If that does happen, guess what? Bitcoin will go down hard. Anytime there's a war, Bitcoin just crashes. So just be aware of that. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but like the news is like still trickling in. I'm trying to think. It's a lot of the same news coming from a few sources. The Pentagon chief, along with the United States Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, have confirmed that Iran is actively working towards nuclear weapons. We already knew that one, right? So I'm wondering if this is what's causing some chaos in the markets right now. Again, it's not like a whole bunch of chaos. It's just caused people that are more skittish to kind of sell. So even Money Power Respect Crypto, the way I'm looking at it, you might want to be very careful of trading for the next few hours unless you have a good stop loss to protect yourself. But I would definitely pull back on the money you're using or you're trading, right? maybe don't do as many trades, or maybe do more trades with less leverage. Maybe you can get out of the funk by just trading a lot more, but just trading with like 20 bucks instead of $1,000 whatever. That's something that I like to do, but that's why I show you guys over here that fake account that we just closed, right? Oh, this is the demo account, right? When you do that type of stuff, and we talked about this actually as I was starting the stream, like, hey, we could pop up from now. Now look at this go, right? You could still be like, hey, you know what? I'm anticipating that Iran is going to do something stupid. Maybe I'll do another short. Like, again, this is a fake account, so we can do anything. We can do $5,000 position with 50x leverage, and we can do another short, right? And we can kind of see where it goes on that one, because you can see the 1 minute had a good green little spike right here, but that's within the 5. You can see it's red. I probably wouldn't have even made that trade because the fees weren't going to make me enough money. So this is not the right trade. There we go. So you can see right now we are in the process of a breakdown on the 1 hour and 4 hour charts, same freaking thing, right? And during that, I might be more likely to do the bearish trades here, right? But you can see, why would you trade right there unless we've had a breakdown? Those little things can go a long way. Why would you open up a short right here when we haven't had the breakdown yet? Wait for the breakdown that happened right here for that larger change of character, and you can swing that down for like a half an hour and make a few bucks off of it. It really just comes down to how many fees are being taken. That's really the thing. How are the fees being taken? And hey, CT, happy to see you, my man. Let me make sure I'm getting caught up with things. This is an important part of the day trading. I think it's good you're addressing it. Oh yeah, what do you call it? It happens to everybody though. Like, everybody has bad times. Like, I have bad times. But like, this is what I've been very clear since I started this. Like, damn, this is like, we're trading up against a massive level of resistance right now. This makes it much more difficult. But if you do the swing trading is a lot easier. It's just that we're swinging up against a massive level of resistance. Typically, the best times to trade, or like I said before, the momentum is shifting and you're not at that level of resistance. Or you could always think about it like this too. Choppiness like this can be very fun, and choppiness like this can be pretty fun. The only thing is you have to realize that chop, you're really doing the longs at the bottoms towards support, right? So let's say you had a support level right here over the last few weeks, right? Open up the 5, get that smart money concepts out here. Oh, it's unlaid, okay. You bounce off that support, you trade. We did trade this. I just sold it early because, yeah, 4 o'clock when I streamed, yeah. I just sold it early because I had to end the stream, right? But that one worked out. And then you have that support. I'm trying to think of other support levels that we've had. Ever since that support level. Okay, so we'd skip all that. Pretty close over here, you can get that support level, none of those, none of those. That one was close enough. You could do that one and that one. This one wouldn't have made you much money, but that one would have. So you play those bounces, it's pretty fun. But usually I like to swing the bounces, so I'm not using the 5, I'm using like the 1 hour and stuff like that. But you could even see the same thing happen here. Let me draw a little thing right here. Up against the Fibonacci level. Excuse me. Right? That trade on the 50 made you a little bit of money. This one did not really make you too much money, but it did okay. It just took a lot longer over time, right? Did okay. Meh. A little bit of a spike right there. Not much. Did okay. Not much. A little bit right there. Hit the stop loss though, so you didn't really make money off of that. Sorry. Not much. Not really much there, but maybe could have gotten you something. That one worked out okay. That one worked out okay. That one worked out okay. And then of course we're breaking out by this point. Those ones work a little bit better for everybody. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily trade all these too much, right? Even that one right there. These losses that you have when you're expecting something large to happen and it doesn't happen, right? Those losses eat out of all the profits you get from some of these types of trades, or those types of trades, or those types of trades. That trade takes a little bit out, you know, like we talked about the numbers at the end of the day, you know, that's what you're getting. But if you do it and the mid zone where there's more chop. This is always an interesting space. I haven't done as much trading during these spots just because of the timing. But you can see this is the 15-minute chart. That one worked out. That one worked out. Did not work out. Didn't. That one went fine. That one didn't. That one did. That one worked out. See, but you can see that resistance level right there. You're not going to be doing these trades once you see that resistance. All right. This is so low from that point of resistance up here that it's okay to do the trade, but you're probably going to sell off some, what, right here at that level of resistance, that you can leave it on for a while if you want to. But again, that trade, that's 13 hours of holding right there. Right? That trade did okay for a few minutes, but again, buzzed out, buzzed out. Once you have that resistance there, you don't need to do much more trading than that. Sometimes it could be as simple as, hey, I have a pattern breakout right here. Right? And I'm not really looking that fantastic from the oscillator perspective. It's kind of choppy. And then I kind of go back and I'm like, okay, if I do this long on the 15, what is the 4-hour chart telling me at that time? 4-hour chart's fine. 3 hours, fine. 2 hours, fine. Oh, I might have lost money on this trade if I took it the way I'm looking at this. It's fine. Was the daily chart? Was the daily chart buzzing or something? No, everything was actually okay for that one. There must have just been some type of news event that really got us going down for a second. May 2nd. I don't know if there was any big news happening that day. No, I would have messed up on that trade. But again, overall, I'm making more money than I'm losing. I guess that's the point I'm trying to convey here. Push that down, and let's get out of that one. There we go. And get out there, get out there. Let's see. Why are the United States dependents of military personnel being authorized to leave the Middle East? President Trump, you'll have to see. Thank you. Yeah, we're about to strike the fuck out of Iran, or somebody is. So, yeah, that's going to be the news. Maybe I'll make a video about it. Well, yeah, Warhawks are going to be salivating over that. That is true. That is true. Let's see. Iran raises the alert level of its defense systems. Yeah. Breaking: Iran is reportedly carrying out widespread GPS jamming over Iraqi airspace. Maybe preparations for a potential nuclear weapons test. Meanwhile, the United States and Israel are actively planning a possible military strike on Iran. Damn, we probably told them if they do the test, we're fucking with them. And that's basically what's happening right now. And we're just waiting to see if they do it. Huh. I don't know if that's how that's gonna go. Honestly, I have no idea how that's gonna go. Hopefully not bad. Hopefully not bad. Let's see. And hey, MK, personally, I'd be chilling for a little bit. With all this news going on right now, I'd be more in a defensive mood as far as wanting to short the market. But because of this like strike stuff with Iran, that usually spooks me out of doing any major trading. Like I'm looking at a bearish breakdown here. I'm not looking at something that's going to be cataclysmic, but I think of something as a higher low type of situation where maybe we just come back down here towards 106,000, 105,000, something like that, then have a bounce and do okay afterwards. Trade plays an XRP and Sol so we can go long or short futures trading. You can go long on Bitcoin. Every exchange has long on Bitcoin there. Mike, YouTube has been banning Bitcoin channels, crypto news, and alert, and just got demonetized today. Who knows what's next? Are you on Rumble? Also, I have a Rumble account, but I don't necessarily use it. I've just never enjoyed the upload process. The upload process on Rumble is atrocious, so I've just never really done it. I know my channel's demonetized too. Trust me, I know. They just won't tell you a reason why. I wish they would say, "Oh, you're talking too much about this type of content. We don't want you to talk about that," or "This one video is the issue that we have with you. Don't do stuff like that again." I'm like, "Oh, fine. I'll follow your rules because I'm on your platform and I'll go on my way." Right? But like, I'm not freaking Alex Jones or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'm in that type of space, right? So I don't know why they're doing it. I'm hoping I can get remonetized, but I can't reapply until July 7th, I believe. I think it's July 7th. They're calling it dangerous content. Let me see. Crypto news alert.
Bitcoin. Welcome, Bitcoin.
Oh, he's doing what I'm trying to do as far as get that Bitcoin vibe going. I like how he's doing it. Oh, he's even doing using his home gym. Those back things are terrifying. I might have to copy some of his boxes. I like the way it looks. His little thing right here is a little smushed down, but I think that's fine too. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube would go after him besides crypto. I was looking at that video. Everything seems pretty chill with it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's just one of those things, I would say. Let's go to regular futures. I really have no idea why YouTube is cracking down like this when I feel like they don't have to, right? And hey, G Money, anticipating Trump will do something dumb is pretty smart. What do you call it? It's going to be interesting. Well, see, so if Trump is smart about this, I think that he will go after. Yeah, you go. Yeah. I think Trump will go after. Oh, my bad. I think Trump will let Israel do all the bombing, and he'll just kind of like give them some military weapons, basically. I'm not going outside. Look, he's over here wanting to play. No, but I think he'll let Israel do it. If America starts bombing people, I'll be shocked. But again, Trump could possibly do that, right? Trump could possibly do that. It would just be chaos, because then Iran is going to do something stupid. They're going to see like, oh, we can defeat America. We're launching an invasion of some place, and America will just bomb the shit out of them. My hope is that whenever Trump or Obama or whoever, Biden, you know, whoever the next president is, JD Vance or Gavin Newsom, whoever these people can be, my hope is that they just don't put American boots on the ground. They let drones do the talking, they let jets do the talking, let the bombers do the talking. They don't need to put troops on the ground. They can bomb the shit out of any place and we'll be fine. You know, maybe drop some heavier bombs than they've been doing in the past, whatever, but they don't really need to put boots on the ground. That's why I start getting afraid for American civilians, right? A lot of not much adds up, yeah. Other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, what are some good coins for long-term swing trade? It seems like a lot of the altcoins don't work great with the smart money concepts. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Yep, exactly. So typically what I do is maybe I'll try to find an altcoin that works really well with trading alongside Bitcoin. But the way I do it, and it's not even a swing. So like for swinging, I'm looking at tokens that have a good social media following, they're actively posting, and they haven't completely died. Like if you look at that chart, I still see there's an opportunity for it to go boom. And if I see it's a little bit more on the iffy side, like maybe a Mira or something like that, or a Mudang would look pretty bad, I'm like, I'll put a small amount of capital in there, but that's more of a really big YOLO type of play, right? So when I'm looking at stuff to trade when it comes to meme coins, there's two different avenues for it. You can do swing trading, or you can do day trading, or you can do short-term swing trading. Short-term swing trading is what I usually like to do when it comes to leverage, and that usually depends on what the moving averages are. We've talked about this a few times before, but if you go look at any of the other charts, like there we go. Here's Luna, right? You can see the volatility when it starts moving above some of these moving averages here. So maybe what I'll do is no, let me show this. So if we're below the moving averages and we're pretty close to breaking out, and we do have that breakout, usually I'll be trying to buy it up during that time. It'll be like a 36-hour to maybe a week-long trade, and I'll hold it as it tries to boom up. Usually they're pretty profitable. This is one example right here. It boomed up. I probably wouldn't have traded that. I might have bought it right there, and we'll have to see where it goes the next few days because it also is breaking out right there too. As long as the MACD, yeah, the MACD is fine. There's just not many opportunities where things have been crossing over here. But these types of moves, I like it a lot. Actually, no, this chart, I like the moves, but this thing doesn't really have as much volatility as I'd want for crossing over moving averages. But that's the short-term swing trading one. Maybe it's been on the weekly charts. Yeah, a lot more volatility than those swings. Yeah, a lot more volatility. Okay. Not over here though. Man, maybe I know this is Terra. This is a whole different type of weird token. Maybe something more normal like an AVAX. Yeah, there's the volatility that I'm looking for. That type of big swing for the weekly chart. Big dump once it did break down here. Hasn't broken out just yet, but it could break out this week. I still see a lot of altcoins that are primed to explode right now. I'm just hoping they can do it. Right, when you're breaking above that volatility is always going to be fun. But no, as far as swing trade is concerned, this is AVAX. That chart looks okay for buying. I'm more concerned about the stuff like Matic. You know, that's pretty. Oh shit, sorry, that's pretty rough. I got like a pimple on my nose or something. I don't know where I got it from, but it is sensitive as a motherfucker. I have some Matic, but I don't really feel entitled to like buy up a bunch more. My average on Matic is like up at 44 cents, about 23. You know what I mean? But again, sometimes you have this stuff like Mudang, where before it had this big spike, it was looking like trash. But this has a small market cap, so I was like willing to buy some in here. But I stopped buying it here. I didn't sell it, do anything. I just let it fall. And now I'm in profit, and I sold some off a few weeks ago, right? Because I was like, damn, this thing's gonna fall back down eventually after having a massive move like that. You know, it just depends on what you're looking for. But Mudang was a viral trend. It has a strong community. It's still posting a lot of stuff. I like that type of stuff. Other than that, I just go and look at the websites and see what the company's doing and see if they have a future. Because if it's a company that's actually doing company stuff and they just have a coin on the side, I love that as long as their chart is going sideways, right? There's that token we were talking about the other day. It's like it's the AI assistant one, but there's other ones here when you go to bangers, right? High risk tokens. Something like a Space ID, right? Space ID is a weird token. Right? But you can see it hasn't fully fallen off the cliff yet. If anything, this is from an old level of resistance, I think. I don't know what the heck that was technically. Right? When a downtrend, you can imagine yourself buying this for the long term and swinging that play. On top of that, for the weekly chart, we're back into bullish momentum. The last few times we've had bullish momentum, it has actually amounted to a little bit of a swing later on. We've started here. Hopefully we can have a swing there. We haven't broken above the moving averages yet, so if I buy right here, I would love to see a nice little pop. Like blah 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 blah. They have ID token on here. Let's do leverage 5%. Let's just do $100 in here. I have a little bit of an open trade. You can see on the 5-minute chart, looks pretty freaking depressing. But I opened up a trade right there. We're not really looking for a massive amount of money coming back from this. It's like a what, $100 position, something like that. But as it moves, hopefully I can trade like, hell yeah, that's the type of thing I'd be looking for as far as swing trading is going on. All right, you can kind of imagine it a little bit better. Momentum is on your side. Link right here. Momentum isn't on your side just yet. You're kind of playing with a lot of moving averages, so there could be some short-term volatility, but long-term volatility is going to be kind of icky. Mana, this one looks a little bit better. Broke out above earlier, came back down. Momentum is all fine on this chart, but Right now, if I'm going to swing this, I can see I'm buying this towards the bottom part of the range. So even though it may come back down for a while, eventually it's going to have a nice swing and kind of go back up to that midpoint or higher than where it is now. So I'd feel more confident buying it right now and holding for a few weeks to a couple months. That being said, I would not use leverage for this trade because it seems a little bit longer fetched, right? But if I'm buying ID, I'd buy this one as well, just because if one token moves, they're usually all moving, right? And Bitcoin itself is still primed to go a little bit higher as well. But you can see this chart, maybe not as nice as the ID chart, right? Theta, this one still looks fine, right? Still towards the bottom of a support level over here. I can still imagine it like it's done in the past a few times, kind of have this big rally out of nowhere, especially as the 20-week moving average comes down. And as soon as that comes down over here, nice little pop over there, came close, broke out, still came down. That was 2022 though, that was a crazy time. I could see me buying some of this right here and then watching it ride up. Maybe not all the way up to resistance, of course, but at least back up to these levels, at least up there. And so if I'm going from 78 cents up here to 140, again, this is like months in the making, of course, but that's like 90% if I buy right now and kind of just let it chill. That's why when you see a lot of these tokens over here on the last 90 days, 100%, 95%, 122%. Like let's go to Giga Chad very fast. Giga Chad. I gotta take some of my nasty tea. Hold on. Oh god damn. I need my salt though. Alright. Giga Chad. Alright. You saw it sitting at a level of support. You could have been buying it over here. Momentum just turned green right now, and it's also just breaking above a moving average. Interesting. So if you're buying right now for a swing, you're selling. Oh no, it already hit the resistance level. Yeah, that means you're technically just buying, knowing it may break down and go down for a while longer, but you're hoping for that big move back up here to the top. The reason I don't like this one right now is because you can kind of see when we were talking about that last token, the middle range, we were below that. We're kind of smack dab in the middle, which doesn't really give you the best price ratio here, or trading ratio, if you will. So I might not do that one. But you can see that one is up 100% the last few months. That has already had the move, right? You're looking for stuff that hasn't had that move yet. Toshi. And again, this is a list of high risk stuff, so bear with me. Is this really that new of a token? I guess it is. Dear Lord, I didn't know that. Okay, really not much we can do with that one because all the technicals aren't there, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have traded this. I probably wouldn't have traded this one. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have swung this for more than like a week or two. Then like the month ones, I wouldn't have swung for this one. I think that's what I did with this one right now. This is more of something you dollar cost average into, and you don't have high confidence, but you know if it does pump, it will pump very well. Like this pump right here was upwards of 166%, and that's because the market cap on this sucker was very low, right? Yeah, 227 million. So that means back a while ago when I would first started putting this on my list, you take away what? Over here 30%. Yeah, so it's really just like $120 million market, so much higher risk right there. A new day for Bitcoin. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here. There we go. He is done with YouTube, and they and did this 3 years in a row at this time this year. Oh geez, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna put up with YouTube because I like having you guys as a community. I know that most of you guys would not watch Rumble for me, and I completely understand that. I just have not seen that be the case from people moving from platform to platform. You guys like YouTube. I'll stay at YouTube. Again, for me, I have some proof of this, right? I have not made any money. Was that? Yeah. I've only made 117 bucks since January, since this whole year from YouTube. right? So, and you can see the exact, so when they demonetized my channel, I let some of the videos sit for a while. When I reapplied to be monetized in March, I deleted a whole bunch of my content, so a lot of my views crashed. My views are still kind of crashed right now, actually, and that's fine. That's fine. I'll live with that. I made the decision to cut a lot of content to see if I could work it out. It didn't fucking matter, guys. Did not fucking matter. So now I'm gonna get started pushing more content the way I want to do it. I've been kind of slow about it since I've been fasting for the last few days, and me just being kind of a lazy individual because I have to trade first before I do all the other stuff. And for me, trading, I guess, is probably the lazier part of my day. That being said, yeah, that's just the way it is. I'll try to get remonetized. I believe I can get remonetized in July. Yeah, but they won't tell me exactly what I did wrong. They'll say reuse content, but then I'll look at other people. I have a large amount of friends on YouTube. I'll have other people doing the exact same stuff I'm doing, and they're just fine. They have no issues whatsoever. So now I'm not entirely sure what my issue was. They'll say this, reuse content that is not clearly an original creation of this channel and may not have been repurposed on another source without adding significant original commentary. But whenever I post content, I always add commentary to it. Like it's when we watch CNBC videos on here together, I'm always stopping like every 30-50 seconds to talk about what we just talked about, what my thoughts are about it, and things like that. Yeah, and then I did a appeal video twice. This is my second appeal, right? Because they banned me in January. I reapplied in March. They banned me again in March, and then they said, okay, I do another appeal, and they said no again, right? So this is the second appeal I did. They said your appeal focused on a small number of videos on your channel instead of explaining how your channel as a whole. In order for your suspension to be overturned, the majority of your channel should follow our policies. But guess what? They're not telling me what video fucked up. So if I don't know if it was a short form content or a stream or a video or a certain type of video or a certain type of stream, you know what I mean? There's no way for me to know what the heck is going on. There's no way for me to know. So because of that, yeah, I've been shit fucked. Yeah, I'm been ticked off with YouTube. But again, nothing I can really do about it right now. Nothing I can do about it at all. And hey, Crypto Crow, oh, excuse me, Crypto Cruz. No, basically right now, Iran, there's a chance that there's a chance that Israel and Iran can go to war. Let me zoom in extra close so you guys can see what's going on. That seems to be a bad thing. Let's see. Yeah, the United States is now on high alert in anticipation of a potential Israeli strike on Iran. War is never good for business. Trump let me just turn off the music. Let me just play some of this stuff for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Turn the volume here to 90. There we are. Okay. We can hear Trump speak together. We can hear Trump speak together. Here we go.
Reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are been. We've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that can be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simply, they can't have a nuclear weapon.
Okay. She knows something. Watch her face in a second. I'll tell you guys exactly when to watch her face.
Can you provide an update on Iran? We're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place.
Wait for it.
And we'll see what happens.
Little smirk.
But they are been. We've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so there's that, and I think there was one more video out there. Dude, Lindsey Graham is gonna be fucking nutting in his pants right now for war. Let's see. There was another video of Trump today. I just don't recall what exactly it was.
president? Why are U.S. dependents being authorized to leave the Middle East?
Say it.
Why are U.S. dependents of military personnel being authorized to leave the Middle East?
We'll have to see. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and Israel attack on Iran is imminent at this point. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that could be a big drop for the market. Again, if it happens, you'd want to be in shorts with Bitcoin. You would not want to be long. You'd want to be leveraged shorts right now. Just in case. Bitcoin right now is basically doing a whole bunch of nothing, but that move started earlier today, and we really just have been seeing some big attacks on Bitcoin here. And I'm wondering if they, the insiders just found out about this attack happening a little bit later on tonight. But it's been pretty, not bad, but it's fucking with the technicals. Now we're looking at a breakdown here, and a breakdown below the 20 moving average. Again, there's a lot of freaking momentum around those 20 moving averages. There's a lot of momentum around them. So even if you guys aren't used to trading, this is going to be one of those fun days where you guys have an opportunity to make some quick bucks. But I don't like making the quick bucks off of news events, because the news events are so unreliable. You just don't know exactly what's going to happen, right? So because of this Iran stuff, I'd pretty much say Bitcoin's probably going to try to come down and ricochet later on in the week. But, without that, we probably would have just bounced up like this and then curled down later on and then had a larger move based of how slow Bitcoin's been doing. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty nasty stuff right now. But it's not like, not terrible right now. Everybody's just kind of waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Anything else? Let's see. I don't know what that show is. I don't want to play anything I don't know about. The U.S. military is evacuating personnel from the Middle East as war with Iran seems increasingly likely. Yeah, we're gonna, what do you call it? We're about to bomb them. Iran just posted this. Who thinks they are ready? You know what I mean? Like, it's all fun and games until America sends down nukes from the satellites. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of a different experience, I would say. I'm bad luck. YouTube demonetizes my favorite peeps. Yeah, I mean, YouTube, remember, YouTube isn't necessarily for cryptocurrency and stuff like that. We have a good spot here, but usually YouTube is for people that, go to YouTube on incognito mode. These people. I tried the top 50 Airbnbs in America. Music, just a whole bunch of like brain rot content. It's not really meant for a lot of the education stuff that people use it for. Apple, Ben's art, whatever, it's fine, Crypto is such a niche thing that I don't think there's enough pushback on YouTube for doing stuff like that. And that's fine for now. In the future, I think YouTube wouldn't dare do something like this, but I think it's more in the future. It's not now. Right, it's gonna be very hard for me to get like, if they're not telling me what I did wrong, it's gonna obviously be very difficult for me to change my content in a way that would make them happy, right? Because again, I'm basically doing the same stuff I've been doing for the last 5 years. Nothing has changed. So I know it's good. Cruz, happy to help you out. If you weren't on here, I'd probably watch on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know if my internet is good enough. Remember, I live in more of a rural area because I wanted a little bit of land. Usually in more suburbia, rural areas. I've tried to stream on multiple platforms at once, like YouTube and X, but the signal always gets really bad. And I'm streaming at 2K. Maybe I should try to stream at maybe I should try to stream in HD and then see if that works, because HD, I definitely have internet to be doing all that. But I wonder if streaming to 2K, and then the TikTok and X have to kind of throttle it down a little bit. I'm still sending that signal out there, so maybe that's causing some issues there. So what I might do is I might have to throttle it down to HD, which means that perhaps I screen record in 4K, right, or 2K, and then I'll throttle it down to HD, and that way it looks really nice and crisp and clean. But like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's definitely a weird thing. Thoughts on Chia blockchain XHC? I have no idea what that is. Thoughts on Chia blockchain? I don't know anything about the Chia. Am I doing in DeFi on ApeChain? No, I'm not at this moment in time. Oh, hey boy, I know you're just having a fun time listening to me. Let me go over here to XCH, or no, Chia blockchain. Let me just search up Chia blockchain. Good God, Loki. He's been playing outside so much, he's just freaking losing hair all over the place. I'm gonna turn white here in a second. Dear Lord. Bro, hold on. I have a tool for this, but I don't know what I did with it. I have misplaced the tool. Oh, it's over there. Electronic air blower. Okay. Chia network. 24/7 global markets built on third generation blockchain technology. Oh, I've looked this up before a few times actually, yeah. Sorry guys, my fast is really fucking with my brain on this third, fourth day here. Let's see. Down 21% a month. Year to date, down a lot, isn't it? Oh yeah, this thing has come down a lot, hasn't it? Okay. But it's also $11 at $160 million market cap. Why would they value it so highly? I don't understand why people do that. Market caps are so important, especially when you try to choose the price for the token. And yeah, I don't know why they chose $11. That makes it so much harder. Yeah, the AI. Why is it going down? Yeah, why is it going down indeed? They got some good followers here. They have a solid community. This seems like one of those projects where you have to believe what they're really doing and you're holding for the long term. And because the market cap is so cheap, honestly, because I do think they're working on some good important stuff here. If at $160 million market cap, damn, I'll toss in $100 and I'll just leave it alone to see what happens. But this thing is pretty close to all-time lows, isn't it? XCH. I could have swore. Oh, I'm thinking of XCN. That's what I'm thinking of. XCN. Yeah. This is like a story like ICP. If you guys recall, ICP opened up at a bad time and it just never really recovered. But ICP found a floor, I believe. If I can find it here. See that? How I found that floor? Sure, it's been chugging back down, but it's kind of stabilized a little bit. This one really hasn't found that floor yet, which makes me wonder what are they doing that has people so concerned about them though. So let me go over here to. There's so much stuff we don't need that one for today. We don't need that one for today. That way. Wait, why did it log me out? Fine with that for now. Okay. What is going on with the Chia network? The token is down so much. Is the company at least doing well? There we go. It actually pulled up the chart. That's awesome. So Chia's price has mirrored general bearish trends affecting most altcoins. With market weakness for okay. Increased farming supply, a rising network difficulty, and increasing farming capacity have led to more XCH entering the market, creating sell pressure. They have inflation problems. Profit taking by early holders. Large farmers and early investors are offloading newly farmed coins, further weakening the price. Lack of adoption catalyst. As some say on Reddit, until Chia sees real-world use cases beyond farming and blockchain enthusiasts, price support remains uncertain. So they have raised around $70 million. Okay. It's not profitable yet. Okay. Different upgrades. New initiatives include ACH bank transfers via its cloud wallet and plans for a major protocol hard fork. Interesting. Cool, but they're not there yet. Real world assets push. Okay. Launch is expected later on in the year, though. Leadership is steering the company away from token sales and towards a service-based model, offering blockchain infrastructure support and enterprise software typical for a Series B startup. XCH is currently down 99% from its 2021 high, but it's a bit of a recent recovery, trading on $11, reflects the broader crypto patterns. Okay. They have funding, active development, and strategic pivots underway. They're still burning cash, not profitable. Preform token sales remain a cash source, and upcoming institutional products can be game changers, but a full rollout and revenue impact may take up to 18 months. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that pretty much sums up what's going on with that token right there. Yeah, it's just not looking too good from a company aspect, and mostly a chart aspect right there as well. You know, have a lot of people having tokens and they're just selling them off. You know, that could be hard. That's why you see ICP really throttling people's ability to sell tokens so much, right? You can't, not ICP, Pi token. A lot of people have Pi token, but you can only take out a small amount of it, you know, to sell. There we go. All right. Let me see though. Let me check one thing here, guys. Okay, I gotta leave in a little bit. Just heads up, because I gotta go to the basketball game. Technically, I'm supposed to be there like right now, but who cares? I'm Michael. I show up casually late. Maybe I'll go live with you guys a little bit later on tonight. Since I'm not drinking or really smoking right now, I won't have much to do with the cigar lounge after the basketball game is over. Maybe we can do some late night trading. But I feel like we're going to be covering an Iran war when I come back. I feel like that's what we're really going to be dealing with. Hogg, DNZ vice chair. What's Hogg doing? David Hogg just got removed from his position as vice chair by the DNC in 294-99 vote, citing diversity quotas. Diversity quotas? Damn. Diversity quotas got rid of the white guy. That is insane. Ooh, Middle East. There really is only a few videos. There you go. I love the freaking memes. There's going to be a bunch of memes if we go to war with Iran. Oh my God, we're such an unserious country at this point. But you know what? It's what we got. Let's make money and, you know, live life well. I feel like the serious people want to make more money, so they just don't get involved with government. You know what I mean? Unless they're so big they have to. All right. But okay, everybody, I'm going to end the stream right now, get dressed. I'm not dressed to go out and stuff like that, and hop out so the chat die down a little bit. I'm going to try to revamp my stream a little bit more. I like the way this looks. I'll keep this style, and I'll keep this style around for a little bit. This is more for CNBC type articles, but I think I can switch it over to, there we go, to that one. But I am going to probably copy that Crypto Cruise guy and try to steal his idea. But I think it's going to be a little bit, oh, that's George. I don't even remember the other YouTuber's name. I thought I said Crypto Cruise. Oh, Crypto News. Jesus. Yeah. I got to try this one here. And the heck is all this stuff? It's not even showing me his channel. Really? That is interesting. Hold on, let me see right here. If his channel is really demonetized, I shouldn't see any ads on it. Oh, Crypto News Alert. Say no, I just found him a few seconds ago. There you go.
Bitcoin fam to the welcome Bitcoin.
Oh, there's no ad that popped up. Yeah, he's demonetized just like me. Let's see. Yeah. But I like what he did. Not so much this part. I can keep my part there. But I like how he had the price on there. Like that. That could be kind of cool. And I like how he had the chat on there. But you guys don't message enough for me to necessarily have that, right? I'm more of an education guy. But I think I just need to talk more about news and stuff. Or just have more energy. Fasting and energy are probably not the same things. But we'll figure that out. So Hiroshi, you're keeping me sane, my friend. Thanks for the education. Yeah, no worries, man. Happy to help out and take things slow, right? If you want, again, if you want to trade low amounts of capital, lower leverage, and just do more of it to kind of get your brain recalibrated. But again, we're kind of in a weird spot where we're about to, like, we could have a war with Iran and not Jerusalem, Israel pretty soon. That makes trading so much more difficult. This whole week has been difficult trading, right? You haven't seen me make a clean trade on stream hours because it's just been very hard to do so, right? Now, I opened up a trade yesterday. I held it for 24 hours. I came back with the fake win, right? $1,000 profit or 50% profit. You wait a little bit longer, it's a lot easier to just find those trends. Now with that week's one, before I hop off here, let me move it over here. We're probably down about 10%, something like that. Hold on. Remember, this is the fake account, so I haven't actually opened up a real trade today. There's that fake one. Yeah. Oh, we are up now. Up 4 or 5% of $225, right? Talked about that downward trend, talked about that breakdown, right? We had to wait a little bit of time. We had to wait the entire stream for that to happen. And then that fake little pop right there that kind of got some people excited. And then boom. When they talk about, oh, I buy and it goes down,